Hello, I'm Lucy Glynn, Market Development Director at LexisNexis. Today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a strategic business partner. This is something that it feels that all in-house leaders have been saying that they are or would like to be for as long as there's been in-house counsel. But what does it really mean to be a strategic business partner? And importantly, how do you deliver and demonstrate your value to the business as a strategic partner and claim your seat at the table? Today I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm the General Counsel of 6 Degrees, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Matt, for joining us. Very excited to have you. So Matt, could you tell us a little bit about your career today and what has brought you to 6 Degrees Group as General Counsel?
Yeah, so I started back in 2000 as a lawyer at Levels, and I qualified 7 years later, and I decided to move in-house. And I went into T-Mobile, that merged with Orange, and was ultimately bought by BT. And in the middle of that, I helped set up a joint venture with Three, and called MBNL, and went as their general counsel. So throughout that, I had quite a different range of experiences, and my career grew very significantly through that. But I saw a lot of change in the business, and also I got to see quite a lot of different businesses and the way that they worked.
And over the years that you've served as in-house counsel, have you seen a fundamental shift in the way the legal team is perceived across the businesses that you've worked in?
Yeah, I don't think you can get away with anything that's not delivering value for the business. So you've really got to focus on delivering, and you've really got to demonstrate that the value you're delivering is real, rather than just philosophical or some of what you say, I think, sometimes from an older-fashioned kind of legal delivery, which is something that's right for the sake of being right. Sure. It's got to be really focused on delivering business value, and that can be in all kinds of different ways.
So we hear that phrase a lot, demonstrating value to your business, but what does value really mean, and how do you measure that?
Yeah, I think that it can come in different ways. So I think you can start off with quite a low level of value, and I think this is the traditional sort of view, which is that legal delivers cost savings against external lawyers, and certainly that's quite easy to demonstrate in some ways, although taken for granted in others. I think the better value comes if you can be more strategic and deliver a better quality of product, and also something that's more aligned with the business. I think the very best type of legal advice becomes strategic, and especially if you can work out ways in which you deliver revenue and additional cash to the business. And that might be through exploiting regulatory opportunities, it might be through changing the law, it might be through identifying ways in which the business can work with industries that you know about and maybe the rest of the business doesn't. So there's lots of opportunity, I think, if you can find it.
So it sounds like very much there's been a shift from just supporting the business, but to advancing the business. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of looking at it. I think it's really important that you look at the law in the context of the business as a whole, and you think about the law and risk in the way that the business thinks about it, and that's thinking about it in the context of numbers and finding solutions. And there's lots of ways in which you can find solutions, and that might mean an insurance product, it might mean not pursuing a legal solution where there is one, because there's a faster or better way of doing something. And you've got to be alive to that, and you've got to be alive to the business case that's sitting behind it and the numbers, because that's how the business thinks.
Touching upon your point on risk, how would you say that the legal function aligns legal risk with the risk appetite of the business?
I think that's a really good question. So the lawyers, I think, perform a very key function in terms of risk management. There is a whole profession of risk professionals, and I've worked closely with them, and I've learned a lot from them over the years. And I do think it's important that lawyers do get involved in understanding business risk and commercial risk, and then understand how that translates into legal concepts. And I think we've got a big role to play. By doing that and getting involved, we can understand how the business thinks about risk in a much broader context. And that can help with developing your own strategic thinking, and also getting involved with senior levels, because things like audit risk committees involve shareholders, and they involve very senior members of staff. It's a good way of raising your profile. It's a good way of getting involved at the top levels of the business.
Just one final question for you, Matt. If you could share one top tip to an in-house lawyer who wants to really succeed in their role and become a business partner, what would you say to them?
I think it's really important just to really get involved. Stay true to yourself. I think it's really important. But at the same time, seize the opportunity and do a really good job.
Thank you very much, Matt. That's really, really insightful. Thank you for your time. And unfortunately, that's all we have time for this afternoon.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As you've heard from Matt today, being a genuine strategic business partner is not just about supporting the business, but it's about advancing the business to achieve powerful business outcomes. It's an exciting time to be a lawyer, and I hope you were inspired today by Matt's insights and achievements. If you'd like to discuss these insights further, or you'd like to understand how LexisNexis can support you in your role, whether you're a junior lawyer just starting out, or a general counsel with his or her feet firmly under the table, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you for watching.